Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the all ages, HollywoodShono here, about to bring you a brand new series on my channel called Assassin's Creed Rebellion. Now, this is a mobile game that I've been playing for the past couple of weeks that Ash's car actually showed me existed, because I had no idea that this game existed before it came out. I've held out on waiting to make a video until I understood the game a little bit better. So this is kind of my introductory video, and also a little new player guide as well. Now, the first thing you're going to realize is that everything revolves around your Brotherhood. You have beds that you sleep in, so your heroes regain health over time. Tekken Mobile had a mechanic like this, and it's a little bit of an issue. You can also pay Helix Credits to heal up fully. There's also storage capacity for inventory, so it has a list of all the things that you have equipped, all the things that you don't have equipped, all the items, XP codexes, your crafting materials to make new gear, as well as any potions that you might have. And as you level up, you can upgrade various things within your Brotherhood. Now, a couple of the important ones to actually focus on are the intel and the coins. The intel is probably the most vital one to actually have at max production. So you can see here I have Hamid and Rosa currently slated to it. But if you put in better heroes like Claudia and Gaspar, who have a better main stat, which is 89 for production, the higher your production stat, the faster you're going to be able to gain resources. And obviously at 7 hours and 29 minutes, this is fine when you're sleeping. This, however, is not fine when you're actively playing the game and you can fill up on intel in like 4 hours, 5 hours. I'm pretty sure it gets even higher as you get higher up into the game. But as you upgrade it, your max intel also improves. The storage capacity is 180 instead of 160, which is the maximum intel you can hold. And eventually you can increase the assignment slots and the intel generated in an hour, and the minimum extra intel generated per hero assigned. So at level 21 we can upgrade this. Now, later on in the game, you also get the library. So the library allows you to create different codexes. These codexes are to level up your heroes. So obviously, the higher your library is, the higher the XP materials are that you can produce. Now, another area that is of huge importance is called the training room. This training room is where you level up heroes at, which I currently have 2 of them leveled up. So I got Gaspar I'm leveling up because I'm trying to get my production up. And over on the other one, I have Claudia that I'm also trying to level up for the same reason. That way I can generate more intel over time. So you want to look for various stats among characters too, and this is very important. So let's take, for example, Aguilar. And you can see he's got a decent dexterity stat and a high agility stat. Now, Aguilar is probably one of the most important assassins early on in the game, and probably one of the best characters to assassinate. But you want to look at all the stats. Here you can see Maria actually has a lot more dexterity, agility, and lethality is 98, whereas on Aguilar it's 108. And there is various gear that can influence the stats. So just because a gear item, for example, has agility, a gear item has dexterity. Agility is used to evade or jump up, and the dexterity is used to disarm traps, to pick locks, and all of these stats make a big difference when you're deciding on your character. So, for example, if you're going to assassinate a lot, you want to have lethality on your character. If you're going to be picking traps or trying to move up, you probably want agility and dexterity. And for like the raw DPS classes, you probably want a little bit of attack with a lot of defense. And these tank classes that are of the purple class, like for example Andrea, is going to have a lot more defense because she could use heavier gear. So if you're using heavy armor, now let's find a hero that actually has heavy armor. So somebody like Lucas has 80 defense split mail. So if we upgrade the split mail into fine split mail, his 80 defense goes up to 265. Now you're going to also notice that once you start getting to level 11 and beyond, you're going to get another tier of materials that are actually pretty hard to get, by that being solid thread. So this is where you have to manage your intel carefully, because there's only a finite number of times you can actually do these missions. Your progress within the game is bottlenecked unless you spend Helix credits on intel, or if you just wait and play the game normally. So it's very important to kind of have a plan for about 12 to 15 characters that you want to level up. So you could have Aguilar and Maria as assassins. You still need people that generate intel. You need people to generate coins. You also need somebody that can research potions. And there are certain people that have increased skills. So if we look by their skills, so you can see that Nigo has nothing. We're looking for HQ perks. So Kensa actually can train heroes faster. So all heroes train 10% faster when in the same training room. So when you have multiple people in the training room, Kensa is going to be doing a better job. For example, Gaspar can make medicine faster. So if you need to make potions, which is not a huge deal in the game if you know how to manage your intel, but it's still a big deal to have extra potions. That way, if you're trying to push the new events, you have the health to do it. And you can also research codexes faster with Gaspar as well. And the fact that he is a common hero, I've actually been farming him at 3 stars just to get his DNA, to try to get him up to 5 stars for that alternate progression, because Gaspar, not only can you use him as a healer in fights, which is a very good early game hero to have, but he's pretty useful. Now, he's not going to have lethality, but he also has a decent agility score. So if you need him to bypass certain mechanics, he's not a great fighter, but he's definitely a good hero to invest in early on. And Claudia, who is somebody that you get for achievements, has the HQ perk for faster promotions. So if you're trying to level up somebody at 3, 4, and 5 stars when the promotions actually take hours, you're going to want to have Claudia. That way you can get that. And she will also get more coins and increase the max storage of a treasury. So you definitely want to have Claudia on that team for producing coins, which is why it's great to have other heroes level up. Now, Gershon can also craft at a lower cost, so he will actually get potions for less coins. So Gershon is another one that I'm going to be working on in the very near future, probably when the dailies reset. Gershon is probably going to be somebody that I actually get up to my current cap of 15 because of that. And Hamid can craft armor faster, so I've actually found Hamid to be useful because he also can disarm traps and he can lockpick. So Hamid is also going to be a good one to farm DNA for. And if you can get him up to 3 stars early on, that's going to make everything a little bit better as far as disarming traps and getting around certain things in the game. Hamid is a great starter hero. Yes, there are other heroes that do a great job, but Hamid is also a solid choice early on. And there's going to be other heroes, like, for example, you can get supplies faster in the same supply room if you have Alonzo leveled up. So getting more supplies means that you're going to have more resources later on. So you want to pay special attention. And also, Flora de la Cruz generates coins faster in a treasury. So you want to be looking for the perks and using those heroes for those various tasks to level up. Aguilar is an amazing one to actually have in combat. And you can see Rosa also allows gathering supplies faster. And 15 minutes adds up when you have a lot of stats. Aguilar can also train heroes faster. Luciano trains 1,000 coins lower. So this could be a little bit of a perk if you're trying to save on coins. Not really a big deal at this level. And also Maria promotions for a shadow hero is 10% faster. So as I said, the heroes that you want to be focusing on: Aguilar, Gaspar, and Hamid. I think those 3 are the most useful early on in combat, unless a stage requires a DPS, a support, or a stealth type class. If you have, for example, if you need 3 of the shadow classes, and you can't use support. For example, if you need 2 specialists and you have 2 assassins, that's why it's great to have 3 of each color leveled up. But you definitely want 2 of the 3 in the support to be Gaspar and Hamid. Now, this is for early game progression. End game progression is going to be significantly different, and that's what's going to influence a couple things. Now, as far as upgrading gear, again, you want to have a couple heroes that you can upgrade. It is good at putting gear on everybody, and the reason for that is rushing missions. If you don't have a lot of time to play the game, and let's face it, you don't want to be spending 2 hours, you know, just playing out your intel in loot missions. You want to do other things, and to accelerate that, you're going to need various heroes for that. And the reason that you'd want to level heroes up, or at least gear them up, is because I currently have 5 heroes at 172 power. I put no gear on them. I haven't leveled them up at all. So I can't use them to rush. And that's especially important when missions require 2 of a requirement. I think that comes later on. Yes, here. So let's say, for example, my only heroes are Inigo, Luis Magdalena, Luisa Cosim, and I only have 1 available because I've been rushing. Well, that's 5 heroes less I can't use because I didn't gear and level them up. So I think that throwing level 1 gear on everybody is good. Try to get everybody early on. Obviously, get about 6 people at max level. Aguilar is great. Hamid is great for traps. Gaspar, Isabel are great. You definitely want to have a support character to lessen the damage. And you want to have a good AoE. I haven't found a good tanky class, like a DPS class, yet. I will be going through that. The DPS classes you don't get right away. But again, there are various ones that are good, even for currency and resources. So keep your eye out for them. So you can also sort by tank, DPS, and AoE. And you could also just have tanks. So if you want a good tank, I have Jorge and Kasim that I can use as a tank. So if I'm trying to absorb damage so my Aguilar can assassinate, and you want to have the tank DPS AoEs for situations where you're dealing with like 2 or 3 enemies in a room and you need to dispose of them without dying. That's where the people like Aguilar, Gaspar, Hamid are not very good, or even Maria, where you need somebody that can soak up a lot of damage. And somebody like Lucas can definitely do that. But again, I haven't really tried out Lucas. I don't know exactly how good he is. I also don't have him max level, but I do have a fine Danish axe on him. So we could probably make some things happen. But it's very important on a DPS class, you need to have their armor, if possible, maxed out. So, for example, if I have a split mail on him, I want to get a fine split mail to maximize defense. There's a huge difference between 80 and 265. If you're taking like 70 damage a hit, now you're taking 20 damage a hit because your defense is up. That means a lot less time that you're spending healing. Now, as far as the missions go, they're broken down into 4 categories. The main story is what's going to cap your progression. You cannot progress through the loot missions, the standard missions, and the legacy missions unless you have progressed in the story. So, for example, if I want to try to get Kasim and if I want to try to get Teresa, especially ranked up to 2 stars, but I don't have the mission unlocked, now I have to run the story. You always want to pay attention, especially early on, for new people to unlock. Now, I don't know how people spend their Helix credits. Some people might spend it on the event energy so you get a better reward from it. Some people might also spend it on the event DNA. I think that the best use, in my opinion, early on for DNA is to go for the event characters, because there's going to be various events that come floating every 3 days. And you want to be able to score more points. That way you can get more DNA cube tokens. That way you can get more shards for any event characters, which usually contain legendaries. And you also want to try to rank up higher because you're also getting legendaries from that source. So if you can get up to like rank 4 to 10, you're going to get 16 shards towards a legendary, and the events rotate around every week. So you're going to get different various heroes and various events, and a lot of these heroes in the events are good. Also pay special attention when you play an event. For example, I don't have the legendaries, but I have the epics and the rares. So you're going to get 75 more points if you have a featured hero that doesn't have a low power score. You can see I have 3 right here that are low power score because I either don't have them at 2 stars or I don't have them leveled up. You want to pay special attention to that, and even if you have to farm lower content like 880 for 12 or 220 for 8, here you probably want to go for 880 for 12 or 1375 for 15. You're obviously going to get more if you can do the higher missions, and that's on novice difficulty. So if we go to adept, which is not that much worse, now the required power is 440. So that means we could actually slot in Kensa, who I still need to level up. We have Gaspar and Aguilar. And we also have Luciano and Luisa that I don't have leveled up or at 440 power, which means I can't actually get the bonuses from this mission. So is it worth it to go down to 800 for 12? Probably, if you can't use all of your mission bonus heroes. So that's one thing you want to keep in mind when you're prioritizing leveling up. The 3 characters I mentioned, try to get the event characters leveled up, and you probably want to spend DNA on the event characters. That way you can get more score. You can also get them up to a higher star level, and you're just going to climb higher up in the rankings and get more of the milestone rewards. So if you like this video on Assassin's Creed Rebellion, as well as some advice for new players, also make sure you do your objectives every day and try to get the achievements done. If you can avoid playing auto to rush, you can get some of the assassinations, the disarming traps. You cannot do that when you rush. Please give this video a like rating, comment, subscribe, share this video amongst your friends, and as a favorite, check out my other Assassin's Creed Rebellion videos playlist, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch, which are all HollywoodShono, my Instagram, which is HollywoodShono's Guide, and if you'd like to see me make individual videos on characters, highlighting their strengths and weakness, leave your comments down below. Let me know if you want to see more of this game. Have a wonderful day, kids. Thank you for checking it out.
www.youtube.com/HollywoodShono. Subscribe, bitches!